Good morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your What's Cracking reading for Wednesday the 25th of March. So I hope you're all keeping well and doing what you can to keep this nasty virus at bay. Okay, so I'm going to do a Facebook Live on Sunday the 29th at 9 o'clock Australian time. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go over to the Aussie Goddess page and hop on to get a free card reading. What else have I got? All right, I might leave it at that for the moment. We'll just get into the reading this morning. All right, I'm using the Thelema Tarot for this reading. I have to put them away because they're starting to fall apart. So I have the King of Swords coming out here. So the King of Swords represents Libra, Gemini and Aquarius. The King of Swords is a person who, as a character, it can be a little bit cold and a little bit aloof. He's a very logical thinker, so he thinks rather than feels. In this particular situation, his sword is down, so he's not really communicating here. So you may be dealing with someone who's not communicating at the moment. You may also be dealing with someone who's perhaps a little cold and closed off from the world. As a worker, he can represent, doctors, surgeons, and people who use their intellect with their work or their voice with their work. So sometimes he can be lawyer, solicitor, etc. There is a victory here though. So the Six of Wands sort of denotes that some sort of victory is coming your way here in regards to this person. You may be getting a message. This Page of Wands shows that this person is feeling passionate, and you may be sort of getting some communication here from them. It looks as though they've closed out some sort of cycle here and they're listening to their intuition now. So that's really interesting. Seems to be coming through in a lot of the readings at the moment, that people are starting to awaken or starting to feel their emotions rather than think their emotions. And that one's a really funny one because I remember speaking to someone some time ago. If you ask someone how they're feeling, they very often answer with, I think. And I'm like, no. How are you feeling? Oh, well, I think no. Let's look at how you're feeling about this. So what's happened is somehow in society, we've got to logicalize our feelings. So what happens is we think our feelings and we leave the feeling there. So very interesting. But for me, there is a lot of people at the moment who are starting to feel, starting to use their intuition, understand what a feeling feels like. So we have the Nine of Cups coming out here. So the Nine of Cups is a card that talks about wishes coming true. So this is really nice to get first up in a reading because some sort of wish is coming in for you here. Ooh, and there's an offer. So this is a page. It's an offer of love. It could be dealing with somebody younger than you, but this just means that something is in its infancy. So probably going through the first stage of an offer. Okay, so someone has moved away from something with this Six of Swords, and then we have the Tower. Of course we have the Tower. Someone is coming to some sort of realization here and moving away from something that doesn't serve them in order to make some sort of offer to someone. So someone's had a huge awakening here. All right, let's keep going with this. We have a Leo, Sag or Aries. The Queen of Wands is a person who represents obviously the fire signs, Leo, Sag or Aries. But the Queen of Wands as a character is a very beautiful person. She's, feels very attractive. She's very confident. She's happy to take leadership in her own life. But this is a person here who feels very passionate about what they go after. And we have the Strength card. Some of you strongly dealing with Leo and Scorpio here. And then we have the Arrows of Love with the Eight of Wands. Messages going backwards and forwards on the airways. Very interesting reading. So we have the Wheel of Fortune here, and we have the Nine of Swords. So somebody's giving away the worry now, and here they come on their horse with their offer. Okay, let's just go back to this little read at the beginning. I have someone here who maybe hasn't been talking to you, hasn't been communicating, been locked in their own head here, thinking about things. There's some sort of victory with this person here. So whoever they are, you're finally getting some sort of communication from them. It seems to be quite passionate to this communication. I feel that they've closed out something here. So they're walking away from something. But the High Priestess has kicked in here, and I feel like this is this Tower energy that's coming through as well. Okay, so I have someone whose wishes come true. I feel like somebody, and it's a flip-flop reading, I feel like somebody has finally moved away from something and is moving towards someone to make them an offer. Now, the offer may not be something substantial at this time. It may just be communication, but it definitely is the start of something because we have the page here. So it's movement. I feel like this person has left something behind. It's possible that you've been quite anxious about this situation too. It may have been driving you quite balmy. I feel like you've been in your head a lot thinking about it, but someone is making their way back. Now, this may still take a while because it feels to me, because we've only got the page here, that it's only a start. So if you've been waiting for someone to come in or waiting for someone to return or waiting for communication with someone, I feel like somebody's going to tentatively offer you something here. I feel that this person is starting to see things differently, but it's a bit of a slow process for them. So even though they're seeing it in a very different way, it's still taking a little while for them to move from the logical brain into the heart. So someone's started to understand feelings. The universe has started them moving in a direction where they're starting to feel now rather than intellectualize their feelings. And I feel like they're making movement now. So you may have some communication here. I do think you're going to get a real offer after a while. You're dealing with someone who's been manifesting here. So we have the Five of Swords, the Magician, and the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Swords. We've got someone here who's really closed out some sort of cycle in order to move forward. So people are releasing energy that no longer serves them. And we have someone here who's been trying to manifest something. Okay, Three of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Ace of Swords. Yep, someone who's been through a period of time where they haven't been talking to you, but they're now ready to speak. They're understanding their own truth. So someone's been on a spiritual journey here. And I don't feel with this Tower it's a spiritual journey that they've chosen to be on. I think the universe has taken control of something here. Somebody hasn't been getting that. You know, it's really amazing how long it sometimes takes people to understand things. And sometimes when I've read for someone for the first time who's never had a reading before, and they're very skeptical, and that's okay. Like, we've been led to believe through, you know, our various upbringings that perhaps spirituality isn't real or isn't right. And I'm amazed sometimes, you know, how people respond to a first reading, and a couple of times it's been quite an emotional experience for them, which is just beautiful. And I understand why some of the world is still closed to the idea of spirituality. I mean, the very fact we can see things probably scares people who don't understand it, and that too is okay. But for other people, this idea of being able to see beauty over what they consider is, you know, an essential thing, and we're seeing that at the moment with this virus. Like, you know, what good is money and what good is, you know, wealth and status at the moment, because we've all been equaled in a very big way. We've all been made vulnerable. So it's nice in a way to see that people are starting to understand their own feelings, starting to understand who they are. But it's sad that everybody has to be faced with their own issues to work that out. So I feel this is what you're getting here. I think that people are starting to understand their feelings now, which is maybe what, you know, the ego has been hiding for a very long time. It's safe behind the ego. It's a safe place to be. But anyway, looks like someone's on the move, guys. All right, let's pull an oracle card. Hey, Luminous Warrior. I do think that's a very beautiful card. Okay, so we got 32. Okay. Are you being tempted by your emotions to follow your lower instincts? Are you being invited to enter into a quarrel with someone? Put your sword away. This is not the time for battle. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Do not act from a place of anger that will damage your relationships and hurt the ones you care for. Find the truth hiding in your heart that will affirm your instinct for peace rather than for war. There's an interesting card to get on that reading. So maybe someone's fearing that if they come clean or they come through, that maybe they won't be met with the same way they're thinking as what the other person is. So maybe it's been fear that's held this person back. Have a wonderful Wednesday.